What's happening, guys? Welcome into this, another prediction and breakdown show for the weekend of October 31st, Halloween night. And we have some absolutely spectacular matchups to talk about on here, so let's get into it. First up, live on ESPN in Las Vegas, the monster comes to town as Japanese ABF, WBA and Ring Magazine bantamweight champion Naoya Inoue takes on teak-tough Australian Jason Moloney in Inoue's first bout since unifying the titles last year in the final of the World Boxing Super Series. Inoue comes into this one as a prohibitive minus 1,200 favourite, with Moloney coming back on the other side at a plus 600. Look, don't get confused with Inoue's boy band look heading into this one either. The Japanese fighter might look like something straight out of a K-pop group, but he hits like an absolute freight train. And his moniker, the Monster, is well earned. 16 KOs and 19 wins has put him firmly in the spotlight as one of the best fighters on the planet right now. But he faces a fighter in Jason Moloney who can bang himself, so this should be an absolute barn burner of a fight from start to finish. Inoue's punching power is extreme, no doubt, but even more than this, the way he sets up and disguises his punches, as he did against Juan Carlos Piano 2 years ago. Blinded Piano with his left hand before coming in and over the top with a swift, brutal right hand that closed the show. That's the level of fighter Moloney has to deal with in this one. And while the Australian does have a solid body attack of his own, his love of a toe-to-toe brawl will likely be his downfall here against a much stronger and much more accurate Japanese fighter. No odds posted as of yet in the method of victory in this one, but we like Inoue to close the show and hand Moloney his first stoppage loss of his career in Las Vegas on Saturday night. Up next, over on Showtime in San Antonio, Texas, Mayweather protege and WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis takes on Leo Santa Cruz in a huge matchup at the Alamo Dome. Gervonta Davis is the big favourite heading into this one, as the Baltimore native is priced up at a minus 500, with Leo Santa Cruz coming back as a plus 350 underdog. Now, some observers might feel that this line is a little disrespectful to the Mexican, as El Terremoto has lost just one loss in his resume. That was the former Ring Magazine Fight of the Year and Belfast native Carl Frampton. However, while it's no doubt a little high, it is partially justified here. Santa Cruz is stepping up in weight and has actually done relatively little since avenging that Carl Frampton loss in Las Vegas almost 4 years ago. Wins against Abner Mares, a fighter he already had previously beaten, plus wins against Chris Avalos, Rafael Rivera, and Miguel Flores show a definite lack of enthusiasm on the part of Santa Cruz's matchmakers. Avoiding that Frampton rubber match was definitely a head-scratcher for many as well, as both of the first two fights were majority-win decisions. The 32-year-old Mexican has a young man's high-pressure volume style, and it hasn't aged particularly well, it must be said. His style relies heavily on volume, and that volume has tailed off in recent years. Take, for example, his first fight against Abner Mares back in 2015. Santa Cruz landed 373 total punches in that fight, including 302 power punches. Skipped to the same fight against the same opponent 3 years later in 2018, and Santa Cruz's output dropped to 357 total punches landed and only 261 power punches. That's a 14% drop-off in power punch connectivity in 3 years, and that decline should be something that Gervonta Davis can take advantage of here. Davis is an absolute predator in the ring, and despite his 22 KOs in 23 fights, he's actually pretty patient in there. He's content to probe for openings and jump on exposed weaknesses as soon as he smells blood. With Santa Cruz's drop-off in both volume and power, he should get ample opportunity to expose those weaknesses in this fight, and we like Davis for the stoppage here. Again, no odds up as yet on method of victory, but I like Davis to get the Santa Cruz late, likely to the body in a vicious, bloody affair that should be a great fight for as long as it lasts. We have a 5% contender boxing play up for the same night, Halloween night, as well over in London. So make sure and join us for that, as we've been on a heater in boxing over the last year, adding plus 36.87% to clients' bankrolls in the ring over that time frame. And we're boxing back. That's only going to grow. Anyway, guys, that should wrap things up for this weekend's boxing cards. And don't forget to give us a follow over at the SportsWolf83 on Twitter and at Kevin Dolan over on WagerTalk, where we give out free plays and opinions daily. As always, thanks for listening, and Slán an bhaile.